Hi everyone, I'm Mary Rondenet from Blooming Rose Healing, and today is Educate Whale Breathing Wednesday. So I did something drastic. I cut all my hair off, and I was it's been interesting through the process of just allowing myself to just kind of sit, and even in the, and allow myself to heal from the hip replacement, and going through so many layers and layers of emotional stuff. And as I always say, energy in motion is emotion. And part of my work has really been this, for myself, is to really let myself be in that space of being in the divine, as I talk about, and just receiving the support and the love and support that from not only on the outside world, but within me. And I think it's a very amazing process, but one of the things is also making the commitment to breathe every day and do the breath work, the whale breathing. And I love this picture because, let me see if I can move my body so you guys can see. The picture is so much about that support, the divine supporting us to breathe. And really what happens out in the world with the ocean, the whales in the ocean, is that when the baby's born, it is a mammal and needs to breathe, but there's this sense of not knowing how to navigate in that ocean, and so the mother is very conscious of going underneath and teaching her, the baby, the young, her or him, how to breathe. And I feel like that's kind of a lot what my role is about. I mean, even with this time, it's been really valuable for me in really taking the breath deeper within myself so I can teach others. And there's a lot of resistance, the resistance of change. And I really have been wanting to cut my hair off for a long time and just kind of start new, start fresh. And I know hair is hair, and people do this all the time, but there's something symbolic about letting yourself step into something new, like a new haircut. And it was funny when I went in to get my haircut and I was telling her, I'm just so ready for a change. She was saying that every time somebody's going through a divorce, retirement, big changes in their life, they come in and they want to cut their hair. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. So I feel like it was the big change within me is happening because of the time that I spent really letting myself be quiet, listen within, and allow also the support outside. And I also really miss my people, my client, my classroom, and, and really feeling ready. I mean, I still have a couple more weeks, but feeling really ready to get back out there, be part of this beautiful community of breath work, of support, of letting just listening and allowing and learning. So, today, with change, what I will say is that our inner soul, there's this part of us within us, like I said, there was something in me, it's time to cut it, time to cut your hair, just let it, whatever. And yet there's this process that we go through that resists that voice. And as we breathe and allow ourselves to really surrender, which that even is a resistance process, because something about really meeting breath breath from a voluntary place, there's something we have to surrender to. And it sometimes, and I think for me, all right, so my thing that I am really realizing deeply within me, so a lot of you know I'm hearing impaired severely. And some people in the world, if they don't know that I'm deaf, might take me as aloof or rude or not paying attention. And the truth is, I don't know what I don't know. So I don't know what I don't hear. And because my hearing being the way it is, I hear things sometimes wrong. But we all do. Or I don't hear it all. Or I think I heard it this way, but I was completely wrong. It can be really confusing. And I find myself, and then with those situations, people will judge me. And it's, and it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I've been doing this my whole life. And I know that a lot of times it's just, people also bumping into parts of themselves. But with change, the point of that story is that when as I did my own work, it didn't affect me as much. It used to hurt. It would hurt tremendously, not even knowing what I did. And people would be mad or whatever. So with change, even within the breath work, the experience is so profound because really there is this amazing resistance within us, and we don't even know why it's there. So my discipline, which I will be honest is not my favorite word, but I really want to get better within the healing of my hip. So I knew I had to do the physical therapy. I know I have to do the work. But I'm also meeting it very consciously, my body. And it's interesting because as I'm doing the breath and allowing myself to go through these emotions, especially in the pelvic floor, there's a lot. We carry a lot in our pelvic. There's a lot about stepping into the power of I am, about moving forward, and then we have also our the two sides of the body that carry different energies, more feminine, more masculine, and one is about moving forward, one is about kind of holding the space, holding still, be still and know. And there's a lot of dialogue that happens within when we start to really breathe voluntarily and listen. And so with this journey for me, I was putting a lot of attention on the right because that's the one that got surgery. So what happened? The left started to bother me. Now this left hip has been doing a lot of work because the right was so weak and in a lot of pain. And as I've been breathing and allowing, and of course my big fear, oh no, am I going to have to do my left hip? And I don't know, I don't think I will, but what is interesting, the hearing that I heard of my body is what about me? Why is that side getting all the attention? Seriously, I heard this. And how I need to do the tender loving care of both, to do the physical therapy not only on the right, but also on the left, to give that left the support that it needs. So the point of this video is that this journey for me is just deeper awareness and how much I was resisting it. I mean, even the surgery, I resisted it. I waited probably too long, and through that, I think there's some stuff that I have to compensate for doing that. But I also believe in the power of healing. and whatever that means, and whatever is brought forth within my body. And disease is part of our, our stress factor, our trauma, and where it comes from. But the question is, how do I meet it? How do I allow it? How do I breathe with it? And not always easy. Not always easy, because sometimes we have to breathe through the pain, through the energies. Back to energy and motion is emotion. And I will say that the work this past month, 6 weeks, for me, is sitting in the uncomfortableness, breathing with it, and many levels of that. From when I just, before the surgery, during the surgery, after the surgery, now, and reclaiming my life from a different perspective from this time. I feel very blessed that I had this time. I feel very blessed for the people that I have in my life that have helped me to understand the work deeper. And I also feel very blessed that I get to share the work and to have it be not only about Mary's breathing, but with the energies of the whales, or even the physical whales, because that's where it came from. The opportunities of watching them and learning from them when I was out on ships and boats and being in the water with them. So we had some interesting storms last night, and I found it very fascinating. Because I'm in Chicago, and we had a lot of very intense heat, and just like the body, when there's so much heat, we have to release, right? And there was this one point late in the night, I got woken up by a huge boom, and then I was just listening to I should say I was feeling it, because I don't know, thunder I more feel because it's got a low rumble. And the lower the sound, it kind of goes in my bones. I hear it differently. And it was just continuous. And I was like, wow, this is a really interesting thunder. And it would just go on for a while. And I'm sure it has to do with the heat and stuff. But it was really feeling like there was a lot of sound out there through these storms. And when I work with the breath, I work with sound. And there's something about certain sounds that really help move those energies and help us go from the resistance of change to surrendering to it. So I am in the process of hopefully going to get back to work, get started again. Well, I am. And I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to just, work with my clients and new people but I'm also realizing I want to maybe start something new with bringing the breath. The breath is so much about rebooting our body. And when I was, one of my passions was when jet skis first started happening. And this was like in the late 80s, I think. I loved them. I was really, I loved being on the water. I loved the way they moved. And these were the older ones, not the ones that go 100. And these ones were not as fast. But I was more about dancing on that jet ski. And it was actually called something else, but I don't remember what they called them. But you would stand on them and they would have these handles. Anyway, when the jet ski ran out of gas, because you're so much out there just having a great time, it would just stop. But there was a button or a key, and it had the regular gas tank, and then you had a reserved gas tank. So then you would turn it to the reserve and then go home. It's time to go home. You're almost out of gas. To me, that is such a great analogy of the body. And the breath is our, got to turn the key and reboot because we're running out of gas. So I decided I'm going to weekly start doing just a half hour. Whoever wants to come and do breath. Just, stop by, do some breath, and, go on your way. And it's going to be a very conscious, meditative breath work. I'm not quite sure yet when. I'm thinking it's going to start in October, but maybe sooner. But I'm looking forward to just get us all, get people to understand to do a half hour of breathing a day. It changes you. It really does. Why? Because when I get connected to my diaphragmatic breathing and connect to that circular breath, I am bringing more oxygen in and I'm releasing the metabolic weight. Somebody that just had surgery, like me, I am giving the body the chance to clear out that old and bring in the new, and allow myself to realign in harmony with body, soul, spirit. So I hope you find this educational and fun. And I'm just, just kind of bringing information from more of a place of what the word feels like it is today. And today it was about change. Just sit with change. Where in your life, when do you bump into a point where something's got to change, but something's resisting? And breathe into that. Just kind of breathe into it and see where the change takes you. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I think it's going to be a little cooler here after all those storms. But I look forward to touching base next week. Take care. Bye.